Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the original Loretta Brown Show, radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. And whoo, Benny and I were just talking about,
It has been a wild morning. Lots happening in the news, even from present stories to past stories. It's just it's hard for us to soak it up.
I know. I'm kind of mind-boggled. So apparently 37 years ago.
Today?
Today. If you're 37 or older, Mount St. Helens blew.
Correct. May 18th, 1980.
Yeah, we always say
Big deal for us in the Washington State area.
Yeah, it's like,
and
where were
around.
you when that happened? And
I was 3. I was in Alaska, but I did hear a lot of it. We had friends that actually were in PL, Washington, which is just south of, I believe, Olympia, exactly. And they had a huge, it was messy around there. I mean, it's just ash everywhere. You can't go anywhere. And it's funny because when I heard about that, too, that story, the year I moved from Alaska, too, in 1990, it was when Mount Redoubt blew her top a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was a neighboring volcano across the Cook Inlet from when I was living in Alaska on the Kenai. Same thing. Like, I got to actually witness it myself. And it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, it's, noon and it's dark out.
Yeah.
Literally. And you could see down the horizon. And all, it's just this giant black cloud that just covers this entire inlet in peninsula at the time. And it was just
very weird.
Surreal.
Very weird. Well, I lived in a mobile home 50 miles north of Mount St. Helens at that time. And I remember getting up for some reason, and it was really, really quiet, and there was an earthquake.
So you could feel it.
Yeah. It's funny when you're in
just a typical rumble.
It was just a little rumble, right? As it probably, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it might have been aftershocks or something. But I remember standing there trying to figure out what was going on because I thought, wow, it's really windy because there was a noise to it. And then when I looked out the window and the trees weren't moving, I was like, oh, my goodness, it's an earthquake, right? So I was afraid the mobile home was going to tip over. And so I ran outside in the middle of the field, which may or may not have been the right thing to do. Who knows?
Yeah. Get back in the house.
Get in the house, Loretta. What are you doing? Right? Yeah. But, yeah, you could see that smoke going up and going all the way across. And I think when we see those things, sometimes we're a little bit in shock. We're like, what is going on? What is happening? But, yeah, the ash fallout was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
I can't remember or recall, I remember people, didn't they say they had, feet of ash and I mean near it, close, but and even further away. And I believe it stretched all the way over to Yakima area, the eastern part of the Washington State area. And I mean that's a pretty good distance.
It's a great distance, and in fact, my dad was a pilot, and he and my mom were in his small Cessna 152 Skywagon, right, flying from Spokane, trying to get back to Pendleton, Oregon, and they were forced to land. I think it was in Yakima, and it was very, very dark, very dark. So
exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So those of you that were alive at that time and you experienced the rumbling and the eruption of Mount St. Helens, that was, like I said, 37 years ago. And then we also just want to pause for just a second for Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell, yeah.
He was Soundgarden.
He was the singer for Soundgarden, Audio Slave, Temple of Dog. Yeah. Huge for the area and where grunge kind of got started here in Seattle. So a lot of the news affiliates and radio stations are playing tribute songs. And so we definitely want to give a respect to him. And their reports are coming in of unsure how he passed away, but he was in a concert last night in Detroit. And so right after the concert, it was shortly after that he was found deceased. So it is unfortunate. 52, lived a great year, and of course it was huge for this area in Seattle. So a little tribute, and so I might be sprinkling in a little bit of his music today. So we just want to send out a little bit of pause for that, a little memory, a little love to his loved ones, and also to all of you that these people are part of our life, and then they have moved on. So here we are. What a crazy time we're in. So, like I said, welcome to the show, and starting the day a little thoughtful, I think, and a little bit of evaluation, which actually is probably in alignment with everything going on the planet. So we've somehow made it to the middle of May, my listeners. How'd we do it? Yeah, Memorial Day is just right around the corner, too.
I know it is.
I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Stress reliever.
Yeah, and then we'll be into June in the summer.
I know.
And, maybe we can exhale a little bit. And
I'd like to do that, yes.
Yeah.
I think humanity needs a break.
Thank you.
Right?
Angels, did you hear that? Angels of the break, please come. Yeah. So I'm Loretta Brown. I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area. And we've been around over 20 years. You can make appointments through the online scheduler. Yay to my webmaster, Indigo Hawk, who is, as far as I'm concerned, a magician, a wizard, and is super intelligent. And you can go to schedule.reikioasis.com. You can find the workshops there. You can make appointments there with myself or Sherry Morris, who is also doing Reiki out of Reiki Oasis. And she just does Reiki, so she doesn't do all the weird stuff that Loretta does. So just making sure you know that. But you can sign up for the workshops. We have Temple of the Divine Feminine, Saturday, May 20th. That's the day after tomorrow. Oh, we're going to be having so much fun in there. And I'm going to talk about Egypt. We're going to start the Egyptian initiations. So if you're interested in attending the Temple of the Divine Feminine, we meet every month. It is by invitation only. You must send me an email. Send it to Loretta at ReikiOasis.com. If you're interested in the class, then we'll have a little talk about it. This coming Sunday, is Reiki Sharing Circle, and I love Reiki Sharing Circle. We start at 11:30 and go in just shy of 2 hours, 11:30 to 1:15 or so. And the Reiki Sharing Circle is for anybody who has studied Reiki that wants to come out and be in Reiki community. We do group healing for the planet and actually anybody that you want to put into the circle. And then we practice Reiki on each other. So that's what it is, and it's very, very fun, and you can sign up for that through the scheduler. On Sunday, we also have the Reiki monthly class for the Reiki Masters, and that goes from 1:30 till just about 3:15. So if you want to know more about that, contact me and let me know. Sunday, May 28th, I have a stress reduction soundscape at Bala Yoga in Kirkland. And get your tickets from Bala Yoga. It's going to have some sound. I will have some bowls there. There will be a meditation. And so it will be a little bit more or a little bit different than just the regular crystal bowl healing concert that I do. But you'll love it. You want to wear your yoga clothes. You're going to lay around on the floor. And you're going to feel fantastic by the time you go home. I had someone come to me last time, and she said, Loretta, when I love everything you do at Bala Yoga. And she goes, when I go home, I feel so clean and so good. And she goes, the problem is my husband didn't come. I said, well, bring him next time. So you'll have something fun that you can do together, right? And for those of you that want to study Reiki, I do have a Reiki Masterclass coming up June 19th. Now, in order to go through Reiki Master Training, you have to have taken Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. And so that will be for those people that are ready now for that next step. Reiki 1, by the way, if you want to get interest started into Reiki, will be June 24th. And there will be a Reiki 2 class on July 8th. So make sure that you can go to ReikiOasis.com and become part of my community by signing up for the free newsletter. And just letting you know, I do not oversend that newsletter. You might get it once a month, maybe twice if you're lucky. It just depends on how active I am. And I want to thank my patrons. We are listener supported. If you like this show and you want to keep it going so that you have more wonderful programs, feel free to go to patreon.com/The Loretta Brown Show. And believe me, even a donation of $1, yeah. $1. That's a Freudian slip, Maybe I need more daughters.
I really hope we don't do that in this country.
I could end up with a lot of daughters.
I've heard some crazy stuff in my time, but that's the first right there. Loretta's just giving out people. She's offering.
My daughter told me one time, she says, you can't mom everybody. I said, well, I'll try.
Oh, wow.
She goes, but I'm the real daughter. Anyway, so $1, $5, $10, whatever.
Thank you.
Can be one-time donation or monthly. And we just really, really appreciate those listeners who do support the show. It's just one of those days, I think. We are going to open the lines in just a little bit. In fact, this is a call-in show. Yay! If Loretta ever stops just jabbering on and on. If you would like to call into the show and be live on the air with me to get an angel message, or, sometimes people just call in and they say, what do the angels have to say? And the angels, they don't mind that. But sometimes it's helpful if you have a little idea of where you would like them to focus. Because really from the higher realms, when they're looking down at you, they see your entire life, the entire existence of your soul. So I know your problems are big, or they appear big, but from the eyes of divine looking down, they're like, that's really very small in the scope of all things. So not to minimize it, but it does help them focus in on what you'd like to know. So if you want to call into the show, the number is 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. And if your heart is thumping and your palms are sweaty and you're breathing like that, then you're the one that's supposed to call in. That's the way it works. It just takes a few minutes to dial the number, and then you'll be able to get into the queue to get on the show and ask your questions. What a great opportunity to talk to Divine.
Yeah, and it's quite possible there are many other like you that are thinking about calling that might have the same questions. So it's always a good time to, kind of get that in and help others out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We're connected at some level. And I did learn a long time ago that those questions, they do help everybody. So great news this week in the horoscope, in the astrology horoscope. Venus is out of shadow. In other words, Venus has gone completely direct. Yay, because the whole Venus retrograde season has been with us since late January. So it officially comes to a complete end. I just feel like cheering about that. So this is going to bring in fresh energy when it comes to matter of the heart and love and our deservedness to have all of that and more. So as Venus is ending shadow this week, she reached out to and connected with Jupiter. Jupiter is a beautiful planet, and Jupiter is very powerful in the sky right now. It's a planet of expansion. So this is giving us a sense of perspective and wisdom and who we really are. It's always the question, who am I? What am I here for? What's going on? So more importantly, this is going to help us understand what it is and how it is that we are better now because of the experiences that we've been going through in the last few months. I almost feel like wiping the sweat off my brow with that one. Like, wow, it's been intense, really, really intense. And so for you, whatever has happened in love, whatever's happened in self-value or worth, or in the areas of your money or the areas of your heart or your job, what it is that you've really been wanting, and then whatever it was that was not really manifesting because you were coming right up against your blockages and being forced to look at them.
So for like layman's terms, that's kind of like the hose has been kinked this whole time, and we finally have unkinked the hose.
That is exactly right.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's exactly right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I remember that when you were trying to water the yard. And you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And your brother was around the corner of the house.
Yeah, right. Oh, that little brother.
I know. That's what happened.
My little brother.
Yeah. So now you're going to see the greater wisdom and get really excited about what you can do and all that you can do and experience and achieve it as you now move forward. I think I talked last week about that this is a 4-month segment of time that I kind of call it like if you have a project, a 4-month period of time is a great period of time to work on a project. So it's important in this week, right, that you try to get a sense of perspective that really comes when you've made it through a tough time and you're on the other side. And, when we're going into a tough time, we're quite often going, what is this? Did I do something wrong? Maybe I must have done something wrong to bring this into my life. When in reality, everything is conspiring to get you through something that you need to get to the other side of. So when we get to the other side, we can recognize our old patterns and how everything, like I said, has conspired to get us to own our wisdom, to embody love and self-love, and to come to know what we want more of and what we're really just done with. So, like I said, this is always at play, but with the sky the way that it is right now, we can more easily recognize that even in the toughest moments, we've been led to the wisdom that our choices can make it better if we just make the right choices. So this is going to help us put the tough stuff behind us and appreciate the challenges so we can learn from it and grow from it. And it's not like saying, I'm never going to go through that again, but it's seeing ourselves more lovingly and maybe just a little gentler with the self, realizing there was a deeper plan playing out from our deeper woundedness that was helping us go full circle to learn our lessons, to encourage our growth, and to help us gain ownership and, happiness as well. Happiness. Yeah, I did say happiness. So it's a good week to simply exhale. Let's do that. Yay, you made it. You made it this far. So you must have something going on out there. You're not completely messed up, or you wouldn't still be here, right? So Mercury, this is great, has also ended shadow this week and goes direct. It's gone direct. And this complements the ending of the Venus retrograde season by helping us think fresh thoughts. So we don't have to go back over all that old stuff and that we've been discussing, right? That's something we can go, no, we don't have to go through that again. Or you don't have to think stuff like, I've already had this conversation before, really? Do we have to have it again? Or, I've already gone down that bad road. I'm done with that. Or, you know what, I've already dated that person about 20 times just in a different pair of pants. Whatever it is that's been going on with you, you don't have to say that to yourself anymore, because now we're able to look ahead, and there is a real groundedness to our thoughts right now, the ability to be grounded, because Taurus is a very grounded sign. And one of the great lessons that's being presented in the moment is enjoying about being here in the body, being incarnated. That's what Taurus is all about. And this is how the mind and the heart can now connect in powerful ways. So there's this element of looking to the future, like what is especially magnified this week. And the energy of this week is really pretty powerful. It will help us leap forward and ground ourselves in a more stable way. And all of us are going through this process in one area of our life or another, all of us. So the synergy has the ability to bring about quick changes very rapidly, but it also represents lucky breaks with blessings that last. This is going to allow us to feel more free, more excited about how good things can be, and experience that good element in a very tangible way. Our material world or reality is in the process now. It will get better in some way, and you're going to move forward into a future that you're actually going to discover that you're living right now. And as I look over the last few weeks, the Mercury retrograde was activating this particular area of the sky where a lot of the change has already been in the air and we've been propelled forward. The motivation has been there. Now it feels as though we really settle into a future that we can be happy about. And the ownership of our happiness is a part of what Saturn is all about. When Uranus and Saturn speak in this way, we realize that it is us that is responsible for our happiness. And we can live that happiness right now. There is an ease that we can embrace with that lesson that we've gone through, or those lessons. This is an embrace of the future and our happiness. And we can accept that responsibility for our happiness in a much more organic way. Wherever it is that you thought the energy was stuck, now it will start to feel easier and lighter and freer and move you forward into living the life you've really wanted to live. So it's not about deferring things or waiting to live the life you want. It's about this moment right now. And change can happen right now. And you can live it right now, no matter what you've experienced. It will feel like a better day. And finally, yay, the sun is moving into the sign of Gemini. So happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. And everybody's going to get more talkative, because it tends to be a time when we're all more active on social media when Gemini comes in, and we want to connect with people. We want to connect with ideas. And some of us are more curious and wanting to talk and talk and talk. Oh, dear. Our minds will be brighter, and we're just more willing to perceive things from interesting perspectives. And at the very least, you should see the online world to get more entertaining, but hopefully also lighter. And the sun sign in Gemini allows you to take life a little more in stride, especially now when there are so many things that are challenging, so many things out there in the world challenging us. And it was a little bit challenging in the news this week. So with all those wonderful things in the sky, with life hopefully moving forward for you, I hope that you just keep moving on. Get into the heart. So it's Loretta Brown. We're going to take a little station break. I want to remind you that we are going to open the lines after the commercials. So if you want to call in, 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. It's Loretta Brown. We'll be doing angel messages and talking about the heart when we come back. Welcome back to the Loretta Brown Show. And I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area. You can find out more about me at thelorettabrownshow.com or ReikiOasis.com. And be sure to join us on Facebook. And it's facebook.com/The Loretta Brown Show or facebook.com/Reiki Oasis. And we'd love to hear from you. We're going to take callers today. If you want to call in, what's the number?
Sure, it's 888-298-5569. Conveniently spells out KKNW. So it's 888-298-5569 or KKNW or 425-373-5527. And away we go. I guess we'll take our first caller. We have Carrie calling in from Seattle. Hello, Carrie. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Carrie. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Loretta?
I'm great. What can I do for you today?
I was just curious if you could tell me if what the angels see as my purpose here.
Good question. So take a deep breath with me, because I've got colors filtering through a little bit. One of the things that you do is they're saying that they're calling you a grounding point, which is an interesting thing. And they're showing me that's kind of an interesting imagery, like a radio antenna, that goes way up into the sky, but that reaches all the way down to Earth. And that this radio antenna can send out a signal, like they're showing me it pulsing, right? And so one of the very best things you can do is authentically be who you are, and whatever that might mean to you. Like they say that you're on a journey, and you're not done with your journey, obviously. You got quite a bit of time ahead of you, right? But that you have within you the ability to be very authentic, like there's a substantialness about you. And that when you keep your feet on the ground, which I think you do very well, you have the ability to be sort of a bridge between here and the other world and radiate that out to people, to shine it out. And if there's anything that this poor, tired world needs, it is kind of a purity or an innocence that comes deep from inside a person and shines out. So that is connected with your purpose. Now, they're also talking about talking, that you are a person who can through your talking, there's something powerful about your throat chakra, and that you could do more talking, or that when you say things to people, realize the power of that. It kind of comes from deep inside your belly all the way up through the voice.
Oh.
Yeah. Does any of that make sense to you?
Some of it, yes.
Yeah. So, and they're also saying that you haven't currently, sometimes stepping into our highest purpose comes later in life or as we go through life. Like, I look at it like stepping upstairs. Like you'll be at one step and then you'll go do that for a while and then you step up to the next level. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, they love you very much. By the way, your guides have great fun with you, and they would love it if you laughed more and lightened up.
All right. I'll do it.
Anyway, does that help? Yeah.
Very much. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for calling in. I love it when people call in. And once again, the lines are open.
Yep. So, 888-298-5569 or KKNW and 425-373-5527.
And like I say, if you're the one that feels a little bit like, I really want to call in, maybe I don't even know what I'm asking, or if you do have a specific question, don't hesitate. It just takes a couple of minutes, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. While we're waiting on the next caller, I just want to talk a little bit about the heart. I've noticed, I've had a lot of guests on the show over the last couple of months, and I particularly have noticed a certain theme coming out of every single guest. And of course, a lot of my guests are very tuned in to the higher realms. Some of them are channels, and some of them are teachers and workshop coordinators, and they've all written books. And I think that, honestly, I think they're all connected to something higher. They're trying to make the planet a better place. But they've had many things that they've said, but there's been a constant theme, which is about the heart. And they've all been talking about the future, what's coming up, how to make it through all the changes. And even many of you, my listeners and my clients, have been going through rather sudden and rapid and even dramatic changes. Many people are selling their homes, they're moving, they've lost their jobs, they've lost family members or friends or pets. They're changing jobs, losing relationships, finding love, losing love, getting pregnant, and altogether adjusting their lives. And I've also noticed that many people have less tolerance for things they're simply fed up with now. They're just done with it now. And not in a bad way, but they're just done. They're lightening the load. You know what I mean? So they could be cranky, a little bit restless, a little bit angry, or realizing that their lives are not where they expected or wanted them to be at this point in their life. And they're not just complaining about it, they're setting their minds to what they functionally and practically can actually do to change it up. So there's a lot of action in this sort of restlessness. I've noticed a lot of people cleaning, clearing, decluttering, painting, remodeling, moving walls, knocking walls down, almost as though everyone, consciously or unconsciously, is making room for something new and fresh to come in. I've had a lot of people call this the year of change, the year of transformation, the year of the harvest, the year that we're going to look back on and say, wow, that's when we went from fear to love. And some say we're headed for the end of the world as we know it, and there's doomsdayers out there, and that we're in the process of watching the fall of patriarchy and the rise of the balance of masculine and feminine energies. And many clients have verbalized fear that we could end up in another world war, or that the life with freedoms as we know it may be coming to an end, or we could be transforming into something we're not clear about just yet. And I want you to let you know that I see all of this as good signs, at least from the perspective of the guides and angels. And so in just a little bit, I'm going to share with you kind of a message from the angels to all of you. But before I do that, because I love a cliffhanger, don't you love a cliffhanger?
Always.
Actually, I don't love a cliffhanger. I'm like, I waited this long, and then they just stopped right there. What's going on, right?
But this is for our listeners, our callers.
It is.
So they can hold on.
That's right. Okay. I want to take our next caller.
Sure.
And who do we have on the
It's
line?
Robin calling in from Issaquah.
Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi, sweetheart. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, you're talking about new beginnings, and this is going to sound really odd.
Okay.
But I've lost my mom and my father both in the last 3 months, and there was a lot of heartache just with both of them. And I know I should be grieving their loss, but it's kind of just opening up what never was anyway. And so it seems more like it's a new beginning in a way, to leave the past behind. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering what you could tell me around all that.
Well, you're right on, and you're right. It's one of those things where you're like, how can I verbalize? I've lost both of my parents, and yet I'm feeling an opening rather than heavy grief, right?
Right.
Right. And then realize that, as you know, they've gone to a better place. Mm-hmm. And that somehow is making you exhale and go, okay, that section of life is now, that chapter is done, right? Mm-hmm. You feel complete about it. And so when we feel complete, we're just going to allow ourselves to go through it as we can. Now, the angels are telling you to be aware of the fact that grief is they're calling it a spiral or a circular energy, and that it may come around and hit you in a different way a little bit later on. Mm-hmm. But right now, what it has done is it has released you from a karmic debt and opened the pathway ahead of you for you to be able to step into what do you want? What do you want? What do you want to do now? Because the path is clear. It's open.
Okay.
And it, by its own right, is supporting you in grounding and becoming more aware of life at every given moment. To be grateful for life at every given moment and every breath that you take. And for you to feel safe, for you to let go of any fear, for you to know that you are in a process of becoming more of who you're meant to be.
Oh, thank you for that. I do struggle with that, trying to feel safe and not knowing exactly how to get there. It causes a lot of insomnia. And mm-hmm. So, did you mention a name? You said who was helping me? I didn't quite get that.
Right now, let me just take a look. You have Archangel Ariel standing close by, and her halo is pink. So, the angels have lots of colors, but sometimes they call it the color of their halo or the color of the ray they're in. She's very close to the physical realm. Some people might call her Mother Nature. But why would Archangel Ariel be with you? To ground you, to love you, to make sure you're taking care of self at a very basic level, but also to nourish your heart, like the nurturing energy.
Okay.
When we're nurtured, we will feel safer, like in the arms of the Great Mother, mm-hmm. right? And irregardless of what your relationship was with your earthly mother or father, you see, this is divine now.
Right.
And then you also have Archangel Michael standing to the side of you, who just wants you to feel his strength and his protective shield. He protects us. Mm-hmm. When the masculine energy protects us, it's very roomy. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we have a saying where we say that mother smothers, right? The smothering mother.
Okay.
She only does that because she's a mother hen. Uh-huh. And she's like, get under my wings. Get here. Just stay under my wings. I'll keep you safe, you little chicks, right? Come here. And then the chicks are like, no, there's no problem. She's, no, get under my wings, right? But the masculine energy doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. It creates a canopy over us that's large and roomy. And within that context, we feel safe because we know that our borders are being defended.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So they're saying that you're allowing that, there's a lot of fear in the energy field around us right now. A lot of people are emoting fear, and it presses in against you. It comes right up against your chest. And you sometimes feel afraid because everybody's feeling afraid, like, right? And then your mind tells you scary stories to make you feel more afraid, because that's its job. Fear tells you stories to make you feel afraid. That's all it can do. It's fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can't tell you a beautiful, happy story. And so you want to just take a breath, and as you exhale, shove your energy field out in front of you, like you're shoving things off of you. And then just say, make my boundaries, very, very strong.
Okay.
And shove it off. And then behind you, shove your energy field back with just taking a breath and exhaling, and just shove people off your back. And then to the right of you, and then to the left of you, and then above you and below you. And it reminds me of, sometimes we call the Archangel Michael Saint Michael. And we used to say when we were little, Saint Michael, above me and below me and in front of me and behind me and to the left and the right of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Saint Michael, Saint Michael, Saint Michael, right? Which is just a little protective thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're so, so welcome. And be blessed. Be blessed.
All right. You too.
It's a lot. Thanks for calling in, Robin.
Yeah, thanks, Robin, for joining us. 888-298-5569 is the number. It also conveniently spells out KKNW. So 888-298-KKNW. I know, right? We're so amazing over here. Cheryl from Renton. Hello, Cheryl. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi there.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I wanted to ask you if there's anything that my guides and angels want to tell me, and there's always what's going on in the back of my mind, what's my life purpose, what should I be doing next, so whatever.
They're saying, what do you love? That's a
great.
What
do I love?
What do you love? What do you love more than anything? And they're also saying that for you and for many people, they're going to talk about life purpose for just a second. So hang on with me, okay?
Okay.
We often think our life purpose needs to be defined in what we do, right? Like, this is what I do. But the life purpose quite often can be an essence that you brought with yourself. And the purpose is to maybe be the best person you can be. The purpose could be choosing and learning to choose a higher path or a better path, or listening to your guidance, right? The life purpose could be being gentler to yourself, learning to love the self, being of service to others, right? And so when we take a look at what is life purpose, they're saying that one of your life purposes, or one of your destinies, because we have more than one, is to learn how to have more confidence in the self, to follow through with that. That's kind of a funny statement, isn't it? And so if you have confidence, you're going to have to learn to have a little more courage, to realize that you are filled with divine wisdom and strength and love and creativity and abundance and health, and that you have the ability to actually create that within your body and your mind and your heart and even your life. And it can be gentle, and it can be easy, and it really can be. And all the goodness that you've ever wanted can actually come to you. So it's kind of a peaceful way of being. And so you get to ask yourself the question, has it been that way?
No, it hasn't.
Because they're saying it hasn't.
Not.
Right.
No, but trusting and having confidence has been my whole life. And I'm a lot better now than I have been in the past.
Yeah. And they're saying, so when you realize that your life has not been all those beautiful things that I just said, to know you're exactly on the path toward it, because you have to face what is not that in order to get what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big lesson. It's sort of like, a funny analogy is when we're a child and the stove is there, and the stove is cold and we touch it, we're fine. But then later on we come along and we touch the stove and it's hot and we're like, oh, what just happened, right? And so that is the way that we learn through life, is that we sometimes, get quote unquote burned, or we quote unquote go through a difficult time. And it is through that. It's sort of what I was talking about earlier in the show, where when we get to the other side of that, we look back and number one, we go, my goodness, I made it. Look what I just went through. Oh, and that's amazing. And then what did I learn? What did I gain from that? Because life will call you. The divine will bring to you what you need to grow that confidence, to grow that courage. And sometimes you have to reach way down deep inside the self to find it. Your goodness is there. Your essence, my dear, is good. You're a good person in your essence. And I really mean that in every sense of the word. I can feel it. So, yeah, the deeper you go, the happier you'll be and the more amazed at yourself you will be. And so your life purpose is to become that beautiful essence. Yeah.
Okay. I just took a couple of Reiki classes.
Yay!
And I think that's actually kind of helping me
Yay!
to ground more. And yeah, I tend to hide in myself.
Yeah. Well, Reiki will, just going through the attunements of Reiki, and practicing Reiki on yourself and doing your Reiki principles every day, your little meditation every day will change your life. Because, see, Reiki is very high vibration. It's vibration of unconditional love, really. And it's got all kinds of energies in it. But it will begin healing you, and it is one of the very best things that anybody can do to activate their life purpose, to activate their destiny, to activate their intuitive gifts. And, of course, it will put you into the hot seat of your own healing, meaning your stuff will come up. But you will have the tools, you will have Reiki to help you get through it. So, lovely. Keep on. Keep on.
Okay,
We
thank
love
you.
that. We're excited about it. The angels do little happy dances when people learn Reiki, by the way.
That's cute.
They're like, yay, something great. Yay, good. And you know what's lovely, Cheryl, is Reiki's with you all the time. This beautiful energy is with you all the time, anywhere, anytime. You tap into it everywhere. It's all around you, just waiting. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I hope that helps you. Be blessed. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks, Cheryl, for joining us. I think we have time for about one more caller. We'll take Christine calling in from Seattle. Hello, Christine. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Christine.
Well, hello there, Loretta.
Hi.
Blessings to you.
Thank you. What great energy you have.
Oh, well, I appreciate yours, and I'm so glad to be talking to you today.
Yeah.
And to be in communication with you. I think your voice is very soothing and also inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. That's lovely. What can I help you with?
Well, I'm just calling because, unlike others, but also like others, I'm very optimistic about these times that we live in. Although we see a lot of issues and what we call problems, I see them as opportunities, and I'm finding that there's a lot more communication happening now than ever before, and I'm really happy about that.
Yes.
So one of the ways that I communicate is I have a radio show, but I think it's time. I kind of feel like the time is coming up for me to write my book. I feel like there's always been a few books in me. And so I just thought I'd call and see what you see in that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And they're giggling because, and I'm giggling, you do have a few books in you. When are you going to birth those children? Get them out, right?
Right. Well, I think they're coming.
Yeah. But no, we do need it. And I agree with you. And thanks so much for saying that, because that's my message from my angels. Also today is these troubled times, right, are times of, I think they're inspiration and joy for us, but they're definitely awakening us and asking us all to connect with each other, communicate with each other. And those of us that have brought books or have brought information or have brought our creative, our art, our music, now is the time. Now.
I believe that completely.
Because this is vibrational essence now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
yes, that's a good way to put it. It's vibrational essence, and I do think that this time where we consider it to be troubled, there's been troubled times since the beginning of time, but it's not what we've done or what has happened. It's what we're going to do with it.
That's right.
And I find that in my communications with people during the week, that is when there's a sort of a coming to each other with the heart, which is undeniable, then all of these issues of politics and religion or things like that, they find their place because once you shake it out from the top, all the bottom part has to find its place.
Well, and the thing, Christine, is that we are powerful creators. We are powerful creators. And so when we take a look at how powerful we are, we also realize that within, they say in a group, things become stronger. And so as we awaken, as we light workers, as we earth angels, as we messengers, call us what you want to call us, but as we come up and out, we came to bring a message. And we all have the same message, sort of like what I was saying earlier. I've had so many guests on the show over the last few months, and they're all saying the same thing. Slightly different filter, but exactly the same thing, which is get into the heart. This is the time of the heart. And this is the key to moving forward. We've been stuck in the logic brain, and if we want to call patriarchy the logic brain, where it's a little oversimplified, but then we are coming, the matriarchy, the feminine energy is rising, and the feminine energy is coming from our bellies, but it does connect to the heart. And so in the heart is where the belly and the mind come together. It's the way that my guides talk about it. So it's simply time for us all to kind of get on board and to allow the space. People need the space to be able to voice and verbalize their fear without getting sucked down into it in groups.
Good point.
Because so often, we'll get in a group and we'll say something negative, and then everybody's talking negative, and you need to pay attention at the end of the conversation. Do you feel lifted up or taken down?
I find that at this time in history, it's really important. This is what I say on the show, because I don't believe I really have any information. I believe that, we're conduits. It comes down, and we either allow it to come out or not. But I really believe at this time in our country, it's very important to realize you cannot become empowered by being a victim, by expecting to be paid to be a victim, or being a victim and staying in that status. So I love what you're saying, because there's so much happening where people are, I'm this, I'm that, I should be this. I mean, there's so many ways in which we can all claim that. But really, at the end of the day, do we want to really be the powerful creatures that we were designed to be, or do we want to be someone that is waiting for the validation and payment of someone through our victimhood? Right. And so I agree with you. I think that the more we talk about coming from the heart, expressing ourselves, and knowing that every one of us has something to say that's going to lift this planet, that is exactly where we can find our happiness.
Well, and I think you hit it right on the head, because to me, fear is tied in with victimhood. If I'm a victim, I'm afraid, and I'm also not taking responsibility for my own self. I really am not. And so if I can just say, wait a minute, I don't like this situation, or this is a bad situation, or that person really did do something, that's fine to do that, but don't stay there. Use that.
Oh, yes, there's absolutely the need for acknowledgement, like what happened, but also in the light of, and I often say this on my show, that you can change your past, because once you actually find out exactly what happened and you look at it, and you see it for what it is from your perspective that you've grown to, now that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
And I just love that you bring these things to the airways, because I think your encouragement and your laughter help people to really kind of look at themselves and say, you know what, I am the design of the perfection that was intended for this planet, and it's time for me to not only do what I'm here to do, but to enjoy it and love myself.
Well, Christine, that is so beautifully said. So the angels say, my darling, you have such a powerful message. Put it out there. Let be the channel that you came to be. That's right. And so for the listeners, and thanks so much for tuning in, very quickly, the angels are saying the key to unlocking the beautiful future is get in your heart, forgiveness of self and others, be in service and not from the ego, and really, really cultivate self-love and for yourself and others. Thanks so much for listening in. This is Loretta Brown. Find out more at thelorettabrownshow.com or ReikiOasis.com, and have a fantastic week now that Mercury and Venus are direct. Yay! Hopefully it'll get better. Be kind to each other. Talk to you next time.